I'm speedrunning chess from 0 to 1000 ELO while explaining every single move. First game, in this video I'm going to play all different openings. Let's start with e4, which is my favorite opening, but I want to prove that basically opening do not matter. Okay, we will start probably with the bishop on c4, which is, in my opinion, a very good opening to start with. It's the Italian game, and you're already looking at this bishop. First of all, the idea of every chess opening, you have to do three things. One, control the center, and this pawn is looking at these central squares. Two, develop your pieces, and number three, castle your king. So we will already place the king to security. Now I have to develop to bring out all the other pieces, because also the knight needs to go out, the bishop needs to go out. And usually you start like this. You put the pawn in the center, then you develop the knight and then the bishop. And then you have to develop the other side. But now, guys, I want to show you one very tricky idea. I told you that this bishop is looking at this pawn that is very weak because it's just protected by the king. So if we go with the knight here and we're attacking this pawn one more time, well, black is already in big danger. How to protect this pawn again? Well, the queen is not really helping so much because we can just take. And black shouldn't give away the queen. Okay, so this bishop is attacking the queen now. That's interesting. We could simply take here with check, which I like, and we will do that. We'll take here with check, and the king has to move, and then we are going to do something about the queen. Either once a piece is attacking a piece of higher value, you have basically three options. One, you capture the piece that is attacking, but in this case, the knight is defending, so you don't want to lose a queen for a bishop. Two, you move the piece attacked to a different square, or three, you interfere. In this case, I love to do the interfering move. I'm interfering between the bishop and the queen with a pawn. Plus, with the pawn, I'm now attacking the bishop. So in a way, my opponent needs to spend another move to move this bishop away. So I defended by counterattacking, which is an amazing way to defend your pieces. Now, this bishop is looking at this other bishop, and now we have to learn to count attackers and defenders. So this bishop is attacked by the bishop and the king, and is protected just by the knight. So this bishop is hanging. We have to do something. Again, we can either capture the piece that is attacking us, moving to another square, or maybe defend it one more time. In this case, I really like to take here the bishop, because after knight there, this knight is on the side of the board. And take notes, knight on the rim are dim, meaning that they are much stronger on the center of the board than on the side. From here, from this square, the knight is controlling just one, two, three, 4 squares. I don't know why it doesn't work, the color, whatever. And the knight can go in 4 squares. Instead, let me show you, a knight in the center of the board. Already here we are having the maximum number of squares that we are controlling. Well, the knight can go to 8 squares. And the worst square for a knight is the edge, because from here there are just 2 squares where the knight can go. So bring the knights towards the center, not towards the side, because they're just much more powerful. Now my knight is leading towards this square, which would be a check. And I think I'm going to show you soon an amazing tactic for this game. Oh no, they disconnected. I might not show you any tactic. Okay, I will show you in the analysis anyway. Let's say black here plays a random move like h6. The pawn is attacking the knight, but we don't move the knight away, but we first give this check. Now the king cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go there, because all the squares are controlled by both knights. So there are 2 squares remaining. If the king goes here, there is fork, the double attack with the knight. The knights are so powerful in this. If the king goes back here, we can go with the knight there, attacking the queen. The queen moves here, not to get lost, and then we give again. We're attacking the king, we're giving a check to the king, and we're attacking the rook. This is another double attack, the power of knights. Second game, we have the black pieces. Let's see how white is starting. Okay, with e4. Let's play the Sicilian. This is one of the main openings in chess. The idea is that we are controlling the center by the side. So the real chess center is the following. And we are not really putting a pawn in the center, but we are controlling from the side. In general, you really want to avoid that, with the black pieces especially, that your opponent goes with the 2 pawns in the center of the board, because that would be really annoying for you So either put the pawn on e5 or place the pawn on c5. This is my suggestion. Okay, now they are going to... they place the second pawn in the center, but here you can simply trade it. And now the queen is out, and this is a problem, because once the queen is out too early, you're going to attack it with pieces of less value. So the knight, that is a value of 3, instead the queen has a value of 9. The queen has to move one more time. And now, let's also bring the other knight out. When you don't have a clear move, maybe an attacking move, or you can capture a piece, just develop your pieces. Now, we brought the knight out. We cannot take here, right? Because this is protected by the knight, plus by the queen. We need to find a way to develop the bishops. They are sleeping. So the only way is to push one of these two pawns. Now here is like really a choice. I like to play pawn here because I want to first bring out this bishop and then castle, so my king is safe and we get a nice position. The bishop now, I made this move automatically, but this would be also a very good move because we're still attacking the very vulnerable point. So it's up to you. I will go here because I want to show you something. This is another tactic. This knight cannot be moved. Why? Because if the knight moves, there is the king exposed. So actually, this knight really cannot be moved. This is called pin. Now, the pawn is attacking the knight. We have to move the knight because that's more value than a pawn. So we will go here. And now we are attacking one more time the knight that is pinned. And so one needs to be really careful. Because if we take here, after pawn takes, we take with the bishop. And we are attacking at the same time the king. We are giving a check. And the rook is also under attack. So that would be very strong. I love this move. This move is really, really powerful. Now, I will take here. It's just a trade. I traded the knight for a knight. Remember, don't trade just randomly. But here, I achieved something very nice. After all the trades, I traded a knight and the bishop for a knight and the bishop. Those two pawns are very weak. Those are called the double pawns. And they are weak because they can no longer protect each other. Pawns are protecting each other diagonally. So, like this. If this pawn would protect another pawn if they would be here or there. Now, in this position, it's no longer possible for those two pawns to protect each other. They are bad pawns. What to do? I think castle is always a good idea. When you don't know what to do, just bring your king to safety. Then we have to bring out this bishop still. We have to bring out the queen. Okay, so the bishop is attacking this knight, but this knight is protected quite sometimes. So we don't need to worry about that. What to do? I'm thinking about, we need to bring this bishop out. So we have two options. Either we try to push here or we try to push there. The problem is that every time we try to push this pawn, then this knight is hanging. Wait a second. So if we push this pawn, the bishop can take, pawn takes, and then the queen takes back. So actually the knight is not really hanging, but we lose a pawn. That's why I will play first the move queen c7. I'm protecting this knight one more time, plus I'm counterattacking this pawn. Now this pawn is attacked 2 times, and is protected just by the knight. So if white doesn't do anything about it, we just take it. And this is what I call a free cheese macaroni. When your opponent gives you a pawn, a piece, a queen, whatever, that's very nice. So this knight is going to the attack. Really be careful when your opponent pieces are going towards the king. Now this knight is looking at this pawn. And imagine a queen being here, for example. This would be nearly checkmate. Okay, let's say I do a random move. This would be a very powerful move because it's attacking the knight and it's attacking this pawn, giving checkmate. So let's be careful. Just play the move h6 here, kick this knight back, say goodbye. Well, thank you for visiting us. And now if the knight goes back there, we can do the same thing as on this side. We can just take it. And after pawn takes, these pawns are very weak. Plus, this is like really bad. Plus, this king is starting to be really weak. But we have to bring the pieces. This bishop is not playing, so it's time to do something about it. I will play this move, attacking this bishop. This is actually a very fun way because this bishop was not under attack. Because after... Okay, let's do like this. I'll play the move b5. Now, theoretically, white could take... Oh, wait, this is a huge blunder. Oh. Oops. Okay, now they are threatening mate and the rook. This is not how you should play chess. Okay, never mind. I think we have some ideas. I will play f5. I'm attacking the queen. I lost a rook. I completely lost a rook. But let's play bishop here. I'm now attacking the queen. And then I will show you, hopefully, a nice tactic. Hopefully. So this queen doesn't have many squares. Can just go there. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Okay, I will show you later the tactic. But after this, I would have played the rook f6, trying to give a check. The king would have moved here. And then you can move the bishop here, giving a check. And the queen is hanging. If you cannot follow those moves, don't worry. It's completely normal. Okay, so now I have a queen for two rooks. Actually, the material is still more or less equal. But the queen here my queen here is going to be very powerful. You know why? Because this king is naked. Now the queen will slowly slide towards the kiss of death. Every time you can bring basically the queen in front of the king, you're giving mate. Just you have to make sure that the queen is protected by a bishop, by a knight, by a rook, by whatever, by a pawn. But that's what matters. Now, I don't even care about those protecting this pawn. I just want to go to kiss the king. Actually, this would be checkmate immediately. We don't even have to get so close because the king cannot go there. So it's enough to give a check and it's checkmate. So let me show the tactic that I wanted to play here. It's insane that I'm a rook down, but I'm just 2 points down according to the engine, because there is really lots of compensation. Now I'm threatening this check, and let's say my opponent does a random move, a bad move. Plays, I don't know, rook here, trying to bring the rook to the center. Well, now it's even, okay, let's play this move. Okay, it's anyway mating too. Okay, well, we don't have many choices. Anyway, the rook gives a check. The king cannot go there because there is the queen controlling that square. The king moves here, the only square, and now we give this, that is checkmate. But let's say the king could move in another square, in a different square. This would be a tactic called discovery check. So we give a check, but we are also discovering this attack. So if the king moves away, let's say the king could go there, we can just take the queen, and we win a very important piece. New game, we play against Miss Anna. Okay, I say that every time I will play different openings, so we will start with the move d4. This because when you start playing chess, openings do not matter. Please, don't waste your time studying openings. Rather learn the opening principle. So you have to put, first of all, you put a pawn in the center of the board. Doesn't matter which pawn you want to put a pawn in the center of the board. And then you bring out the knights, the bishops, you castle. So this is what is called, okay, I'll go first with the knight here, and then I will show you one opening that is called London system. I can't believe that. Basically, the idea of this opening is that you stop worrying about openings because you always play the same exact moves. So you will play bishop here, then you will play e6, e3, c3, bishop there, knight here, castle. You always play the same exact moves. Now that my opponent is going here, I will actually play knight there, a little bit different move. I'm developing my knights, and okay, let's play also this move. Let's see if they go with the knight here. Okay, they go with the knight there, but now I can play this move, and I'm attacking this pawn. You remember that this pawn is weak, also this other pawn is weak, because it's just protected by the queen, and I'm already threatening a nice fork. Ooh. Well, we can do it. The pawn is pushed, but the knight can still go there. Now the king has to go up, and the king is nearly running out of squares. This is not looking any good. Okay, I will play something very fancy. I could take this rook. Well, no, I will just take the rook. It's when you see a free piece, just take it. That's good. So we want 2 points because a knight has a value of 3, the rook has a value of 5, and so we want 2 points. And you see next to the name, you can always see the material. If you're winning, if you're losing, I'm +2. Okay, now I was attacking my opponent's center. Now there is a free pawn. Can you see it? It's this one. Because I can take once. Okay, black can take, but I take it with the bishop. So that's good. Guys, if you could place this queen in any square of the board, where would you place it? The right answer is on a5, because this would be another fork, a double attack. Check to the king, and the bishop is hanging. So now the queen is attacking the bishop, but ooh, well, it's hard when you start playing chess to see. Okay, let's bring the rook to the attack. To see bishops attacks because they are attacking from very far away. I have a theory that more than 3 squares is really tough to see. Okay, now I'm bringing the rook to the attack. I will also bring the queen, actually. Let's go. I'm trying to give checkmate, and in order to do so, I gotta bring all my pieces. The queen is now going maybe towards this square, attacking the pawn. The king is hiding. The king is running away like a chicken. Well, it's the only challenge, so it's all right. And guys, let's say my opponent plays any move. Okay, they played already this check. I will go here. They could have waited, you know, because if I would have captured this knight, that would have been the discovery check, the same tactic that we saw before. Now, this is a check, but it's a bad one, because I can simply take here, and I won a knight for a pawn. So one thing that beginners, a mistake that beginners are doing, is trading without understanding the value of each piece. So remember, the pawn has a value of 1, the bishop and the knights have a value of 3, the rooks have a value of 5, the queen has a value of 9. So do not trade pieces of less value with for pieces of higher value, because if not, you will end up with very weak pieces. And those numbers are not just random, they basically show the strength of each piece. I will go with the rook here, and usually the rooks and the queen are working together when they are on the same file, like here, for example, because now I can go to take this pawn, and the queen is protecting my rook, so I can do whatever I want. And this is going to be made in very, very few moves. 1. Okay, I'm not sure how I give mate. Okay, I will give a... Okay, let's give a check, because now if the king goes here, it's checkmate, so the king has to go there. Okay, and now how to find the quickest mate? I think like we do like this. Bing. Look at this. And now it will be boom bang. Bing boom bum. Bim boom bum. Do you see it? It's inevitable. Okay, we have it. Boom. The king has to move here, and then bum. Okay, let's pre-move it. Oh, I cannot pre-move it. GG's. For your information, to activate pre-moves, you go in settings next to the board, then you click on play, then you click on live, and then you enable the pre-moves. Let's go. We are playing against e4, so this time I will play e5. Again, you want to place a pawn in the center of the board, in one of these two squares, at move 1. Always do that. And then you bring out the knights. Now, there was a pawn under attack, so we are protecting with the knight. You bring out the bishop, and then the other knight, and then you push another pawn to develop the other bishop. There we go. We are developing everything. Usually, one very important rule is do not move too many pawns in the openings. So what is white doing here? They want to avoid moves like knight g4, knight b4, attacking those vulnerable points, right? That maybe it is a little bit too much, because for example, a3 now really not needed, because after knight here, I'm attacking this, but it's protected by the queen, and I don't have a way to attack it one more time. For example, if there would be the possibility to go here with the bishop, I would understand this move. But like this, honestly, I don't understand. How to punish those mistakes? Well, the point is that if you push so many pawns, you are going to be in delay of developing your pieces. So one thing that you can do, and once you are in delay of developing your pieces, you are in delay of castling. So one thing that you can try to do is to open up the center. Now, I want to evaluate the move d5. Is this possible? I need to check out that I don't lose material. Well, after pawn takes this, there could be a move like... Okay, let's do it. Because after pawn takes this, there could be a move like bishop takes, pawn takes, and this pawn is falling. But this, if this happens, will show you why castling is very important. Okay, everything according to the plan. Will white capture this pawn? That's a mistake. Because now, the knight and the pawn, that was a poison pawn, are on the same file, those two pieces. So I can just play rook here. This knight cannot be moved. Because there is a king behind. And this knight is going to be lost forever and ever. There is actually one move that can save white. Can you see it? It's one move that is defending and attacking at the same time, and would have been the move d4. Now, this is not so good, and I will play an amazing move, knight here. I'm attacking the queen. I'm attacking the pawn on g2, and this queen is definitely overloaded. Okay, maybe there is queen here, actually. That is simply a good move. I can play queen g5 then. This is a very fun position to have. Okay, now I will play queen here, and I'm attacking so many things. I'm threatening to take here with the queen. I'm threatening to take here with the knight. I'm threatening to take this knight. So many threats. All right, let's go. Let's go. I think we just take here, and this is the most powerful move because we're attacking the queen and the king at the same time. Yeah, the queen is taking, and now we take with the queen. We are +6. It's very good. Usually grandmasters are able to win with +1. +1 is enough for them to win the game. But when you start playing chess, you need a little bit more. Now, I was thinking about this knight is again pinned. I was thinking about this move, but it's actually not perfect. Because after being... So this bishop is now protected by the queen. But the point is that if we play f5, that is first this move, the queen has to move, and then this is hanging. But still, okay, it works, because still after all this, we have a final fork, a final double attack with check. The queen goes back here and gives a check. Okay, my opponent castled. Better late than never. Okay, it's time to give mate, guys. Look at this. We sacrifice the bishop because we want to open up this file. And then we want to give a kiss to the king here on g2. Because on g2, the queen will be protected by the knight. So if we bring the queen on g2, we give checkmate. Now, if this bishop is captured, we go there by giving a check. The king moves, and then we give the oh, wow, nice. My opponent saw the threat. Okay, that's good. That's good. So we have to find a different way, and we'll bring the rook. So we'll try to bring the rook here and to give the same idea, the same checkmate. Also, there is another way to give checkmate, and would have been to bring this bishop here and to try to give checkmate on h2. Usually, those are called battery. You can do bishop plus queen, knight plus queen, and so on. Now, we give a check with the rook. The king has to move in just one square. Then we give a check here, and then we give the final checkmate. Okay. Final game, and then we'll get rating. I don't know which rating we will get. I played e4 by default. I will show you guys an opening, which is a gambit. A gambit is an opening where you sacrifice a pawn. Now, my opponent didn't even think about taking that. I will just go with the knight out. So there is a pawn that is hanging. It's free. But what is the idea? The idea is that I want to go with these two pawns at the center of the board. Those pawns are so strong because they're controlling all the squares in front of them. And I'm able to develop in such an amazing way. I can go with the knight here, with the bishop here, with the other bishop here. This move is really smart. This move is really smart. Because you are counterattacking the center. This is what you have to do. You cannot let your opponent take everything they want. I love it. I'm taking, but now they go out. They go out with the queen a little bit too early. Okay, they go back. Now I could simply take here. We could develop this. So many possibilities. Let's go with the bishop out here. I want to be able to castle as quick as possible. Plus, the nice part is that I gave away my f pawn. Okay, I think now I will take here. Yes. Because there is a way that black can try to keep that pawn by playing move g5. And so I prefer to take it before it's too late. Then I'm going to castle, and what I wanted to say is that we have been opening up the f file, meaning that there will be a rook here also looking at this pawn. And that's going to be really nice, really fun. Okay, let's go. Let's take here, and I think queen takes will be played, and then we will simply castle. Ooh, pawn takes. I don't really like this move too much. Usually it's good to take, to capture with the pawn towards the center. But remember that pawns are working together when they are... pawns are working well when they are connected, when they are together. And this pawn is now isolated, means that it's not protected by any other pawn. And it's weak. I have a nice tactic here. Ooh. Can I do that? Unfortunately, no. Okay, let's do this. Let's force this. No, you should have gone here. I would have had an amazing queen sacrifice. I will show you afterwards. Now I take back with the queen. I was threatening a nice checkmate there. Let's give a check. Let's give a check, so the king needs to be careful where to go. Not so easy. So the knight is covering. And we can go with the knight here. Now this move is so powerful, guys. This knight cannot be taken by any of black knights. No, because this is pinned. This just simply cannot be moved. Even if you try, this move doesn't work. And if this knight takes, I'm going to give mate. Well, it's not mate because the king can still run here. But remember, every time you can kiss the king, so be like next to the opponent king, and your piece is protected, you're basically giving checkmate. So this is a very good try, and the rook is protecting the queen. So what will black play? Honestly, not easy, because if they don't take this knight, I'm going to take here, or even with the rook. So I'm going to do lots of damage here. Okay, guys, this is not really good. We give a kiss to the king runs away. And now we can simply take this knight, unless we see a better move. Okay, we'll just take this knight with the bishop. And we've got in a very nice position where we are still attacking, right? Okay, now the rook is trying to protect this knight one more time. And now I could give this check, but the king runs here. So if I can't find a way to block this square, it would be checkmate. So I will bring the rook here, and that's why chess players are thinking moves ahead. I want to first bring the rook here, block all these squares with the rook, and then give checkmate. Will this work? Okay, we're blocking all these squares. I think this is going to work. Because this knight cannot be moved, even if the queen moves. Okay, the king gets one extra square. Okay. Oh, wow. Because the king is getting this extra square, and so we don't give a check with the queen, because the queen is controlling the square, and we give mate with a bishop. This is so beautiful, and look at the rating. We are 928, so maybe this could be the final game already. Maybe, I don't know. Hello, Emma. Okay, e4, e5, I'm playing again this move, because I honestly believe this is the best for beginners. It's very standard, it's easy to develop your pieces. And, okay, but let's play something different. So, you can defend your pawn by defending with the knight or by counterattacking. Here, we are counterattacking this pawn. And now white is simply defending it, and we will also defend this other pawn. This is called 4 knights opening. Guess why? We're going to develop the bishop next, and then to castle, so simple chess. Now, the bishop is always looking at this pawn. So now white has to be a little bit careful, because this move was bad. Again, you're wasting a tempo. Okay, you really want to attack this bishop, but you are not achieving much. I can just move this bishop back here, and yeah, you moved twice a pawn instead of developing this. Okay, now he's really going, my opponent is really going really off the track. Because what they are doing, they want to attack this knight and to win this pawn, but usually wasting so much time to run after one single pawn is a very dangerous attitude. Now, I will go with the knight here, leading towards the attack of this king. And will my opponent capture here? Yes, they are committed. They are going for it. I will play now the move d5. This king is in big danger, so I'm opening up the center. And remember, we saw in one of the previous game, if the knight and the king are on the same file, I'm trying to remove this pawn, then this knight will be lost. Okay, the knight is taking. Now I take here, and after pawn takes, I mean, I could take this pawn, but I don't have to. I will play queen here, and I'm going to take the knight. So this knight went there to take one pawn, and now he's risking his own life. This is what you shouldn't do in chess. Okay, the queen is brave. Is bravely protecting the knight, but already we have a nice tactic here, and we are winning. We're winning a rook because this is a double attack. I just want to see if we have even better, and I think we do have even better. Even better than a rook, though? Nah, we'll go to take it. Come on, let's go. So my opponent took a pawn, and we are going to take a rook. Actually, we already took a pawn, and now we also take a rook. Now I was looking at other moves. But it's fine. When you see a free rook, you can be quite happy and take it. We used lots of time to go with our knight here, and to take there. So we shouldn't commit the same mistake as my opponent and you know, stopping developing our pieces. Now, okay, it's worth it probably to bring this knight back, but now, with my next move, it's really time to start to be fast. to be fast. My opponent would have... Ooh, not this one. I said would have a very strong move by playing bishop here. Sorry, bishop here. Because you develop and you're attacking this knight one more time. Now, it's true that the queen is also attacking this knight, but the queen has been moving one more time. So even if my knight moves again, it's not a big deal. Once you have more material, I am +4, you have to trade pieces. Because like this, the position becomes much easier for you. So I play knight here, I'm attacking the queen, and my opponent has the possibility to take this knight. If they don't take, this knight is suddenly hanging, because it's no longer protected by the bishop. The knight was interfering. Now we are attacking this twice. So here is very simple. This knight is attacked 2 times, and is protected just once. So we can simply take it. Here, I could have taken with the queen, with the idea of trading the queen. I'm going to castle, because here my opponent is threatening a discovery check, which is not too bad, but still we castle. And then we'll try to give checkmate. So how to give checkmate? We have to bring these bishops out, and then to try to approach with the queen. That would be good. Okay, so let's go with the bishop here, and then we will also bring the rook on the open file. When you play chess, remember that you need to try, as much as you can, to get active pieces. Now be careful. I will explain where each piece is the most active. So there is a bishop that is pinned. Because yeah, I can move this bishop theoretically, but my queen would be hanging. So the next move of my opponent will be pawn here or pawn here. That's why I'm simply getting the queen out of that file. And my queen is safe. Where is the king going? Okay, I see where the king is going. Wants to hide here. But that's not a good idea. I will play bishop here. And guys, with the bishop, I'm really looking at this square. And now the king hides. We have an amazing move. So we would like to play this. But we cannot really play because there is this bishop. But how we can get out, we can get rid of this bishop by forcing our opponent move. That's the way. We're giving a check. So my opponent needs to take the bishop. And now the kiss of death, checkmate. Okay, we're winning just 50 points. Just 50 points. So we have one final game and we have the white pieces. And guys, d4 or e4? d4 or e4? e4, sorry. But I will play again one new opening. I played the King's Gambit. Let's try to see if I can play the Evans Gambit, which is really a nice opening. But again, the purpose of this video, changing so many openings, is to show that openings do not matter. Just follow the same principle. One pawn in the center of the board, one of these 4 squares, and then you develop the knights, the bishop, you castle, and you are fine. You have to try in the first moves to develop. Okay, let's go just with the knight here. To develop as quickly as possible the minor pieces. First the knights, and then the bishops. And then you castle, and then you try to develop the other bishop. Every time, it's easy to develop, once you push one pawn in the center, it's easy to develop one bishop, because you can naturally bring it out. And then for the other one, you need to move a second pawn. But be careful. For example, if here we will try to develop first this bishop, by playing the move d3, we are trapping this own bishop. That's why you have to proceed in the precise order. First a knight, then a bishop, and then you move to the other side, the knight, and then we will play the move d3 and bring out also this bishop. There we go, we follow our plan. We play d3, we're ready to develop this bishop. Probably here, it's a very nice move if we can do that. Because we are pinning the knight. Because the queen behind is hanging, that would be a problem. Okay, black is stopping the bishop from going there. I might simply castle, or actually I will develop this bishop on the remaining square here. We are offering a trade, and now about this position, you will notice a very important thing. In the previous game, one of the previous games, I told you that double pawns are weak because they cannot protect each other, but this is an exception. Because there is basically a trade-off. White is controlling all the important central squares with those pawns. Those pawns are really good. On the other side, there is one pawn that is weak, and is this one. Because this pawn is the only one that cannot be protected by other pawns. This move is terrible. Don't move twice the same piece in the openings. I'm going to castle here. The rook is joining the party. I'm looking at the pawn on f7. And this is the last call for the flight. 3-1-1, 5-6-0. I'll just sacrifice the bishop. This is gonna work. I hope. And now I'm going to take here, and this is a discovery check. The rook is joining the party, and where is this king going? Okay, do I have mate? So queen here, the king takes, I give a check, the king goes here, I give a check, goes there. I'm trying to see if I have mate. Okay, I think I have it. So we sacrifice a piece, but it's fine. The king is in the middle of the board. This cannot be good. This cannot be good. Now, I think we might just give check with this rook, even if the king is running here. So we will give check like this. And like this, we are controlling all the squares. And then we give a check here. The king goes there. And we're going to give mate with a knight. Look at this. Check here. And now the king can just go back there. And then the king cannot go in any single square. The king cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go here. All the squares are controlled by the pawns. The queen is controlling those two squares. So it's enough to give a check. And there we go. And it's mate. Hope you guys enjoyed those games. Remember to like and subscribe. And remember, develop your pieces, castle, and do not blunder. The third task is a bit tougher, but you'll get it done.